y'all? Welcome back to the chaos. I'm Ryan, and we're out here today tackling a much needed mod for my C6 Corvette. So when I first picked the car up, one of the first immediate things I noticed about the car were the foggy peeling headlights. So this car is a 2013, so it's already over a decade old, and you can tell it by these headlights. So they've seen better days. So I've actually picked up a set of these black housing OEM style from Extreme Online Store. So there's many different variants of headlights out there. So you can get ones that mimic the C7, the C8, which Extreme Online Store offers the C8 version as well. Amazon offers, I think, a McLaren looking version, all kinds of different varieties. But I think, and I want to stay true to the car and the time period, I like the OEM. I just think this style fits. And oddly enough, at this point, because most people, when they upgrade, they do switch over to a different variant. So you actually, to me, I'll stand out more with a variation of OEM. So all of the headlights from Chevy came factory paint and matched to the car. So my car is a night race blue exterior, so it has like the night race blue backing on the headlights. Well, we're gonna change up the styling a little bit. So these are black housing headlights. So they've got a black background. And especially, it won't make as much of a drastic difference on my car, but I think it's gonna be subtle enough to give it like an OEM plus touch. So if you have like a white Corvette, that would be night and day different, because you would have the white housing going to black. They offer different varieties, different styles, different colors, but I chose black because I think it'll give it just a little spice up here in the front. And especially getting rid of these nasty foggy headlights, that's the main goal. But there's several different ways we can tackle this. I've seen people attempt to do the headlight removal without removing the bumper. I'm going to take the approach of I'm just gonna take the bumper off. I feel like that will give us the most access to all these bolts to get the headlights out, less likely to damage something. So we're just gonna be very careful and get the front bumper off first. So let's get into it. Give you a little side by side. You can kind of tell the difference in like the lens itself. Look how much clearer this one is, and just kind of how hazy the left side is, the stock ones. And you can see right here on the corner that it's starting to like peel, and it's just doesn't look good. It's got, like I said, it's a 4-footer. So when you're standing back from the car, it doesn't look too bad, but the closer you get, the worse it is. We'll get to try out my new jack bucks for the first time, because this will be the first time we've actually lifted the car. But the plan of attack is just going to be, I'm gonna try to lift the front end. So I've got these ramps on the little jack one side up, throw a ramp under the tire, do the same thing for the other side. Because the goal is just to get underneath the front of the car. It's so low, I can't really crawl under there to get all the bolts loose and everything like that. So I just wanna get the front end up, get all the bolts removed underneath, and then hopefully then I can lower back down and tackle getting the fender liner out by just turning the wheel from side to side. Well, that's one side lifted, and doing that is gonna give me just enough space to actually be able to get under there and get to all those nuts and bolts. So let's get the other side in the air. Look at all this room for activity. So now I should be able to slide under there no problem. So we'll tackle removing everything from underneath, and then there's actually some stuff. I'll pop the hood, get those front clips, bolts, whatever we find up there loose. So then the only thing that we should have left is the fender liners. So that's the plan. Knock out the bottom, knock out the top, and then do the sides. Well, kids, that's why you make a plan and stick to it. So I had even told myself, and you all as well, that I was gonna start underneath, get all those bolts out, but I went ahead and popped the hood and almost got decapitated, because with the car at an angle, it's fighting gravity against those hood shocks. So all of a sudden I got one bolt out from the top, and then turn around, next thing I know, the hood fell. But yeah, so we got everything hopefully underneath. So there was only like 7 nuts that had to pull off. So now we're gonna lower the car back down and then tackle, now my hood should stay up at that point. So tackle the top part and then work our fender wells. Believe it or not, that's all the easy stuff. So I've got, yeah, all the bolts, nuts from underneath, all the ones up top, and then I just did 2 of the fender bolts. So that way, because you're not gonna take the whole fender off, but you're gonna need to be able to wiggle around everything like that. So everything, like I said, all the easy stuff should be done. So now we're just gonna crank the wheel, and hopefully we don't have to take the wheel off. That's the goal, is to not have to do any of that. So we'll just crank the wheel, hard right, hard left, and take the fender liner off. And then that, unplug fog lights, unplug side marker lights. That should be about it. So we're getting close. Chaos is the name of the game, so I've hit a snag. So turning the wheel full lock gives me some access, but honestly, I just feel like it'd be like tons easier just to go ahead and pull the wheel off. So that's what we're gonna do. So then we'll have to tackle kind of taking the wheel off, pulling the fender liner on this side, putting the wheel back on, and then repeating on the other side. So a little time consuming, but just makes my life honestly easier, even though it seems more tedious in the long run. But I promise it'll make it easier. So let's go ahead and get the wheel off on this side. Now we're getting somewhere. So pulling the wheel off just allowed me access to the whole fender liner. So now I can pull it all the way back and get up in there and see exactly what the bolts and nuts that we got to pull off from inside the fender well. With the fender liner pulled all the way back, now you can see like those studs hanging down. So we got to get those nuts off, and then we can also access a whole lot easier our fog light down there, that plug. You can see the blue connector down there, and then our side amber as well. Now I actually have a good game plan for what I'm doing. So same thing on this side, loosen the wheel, jack the car up, take the wheel off, get all that fender liner out, unplug everything. So then at that point, fingers crossed, that should be the last thing holding the bumper on. Then we can actually pull the bumper cover off. I don't want to jinx it, but I think everything is loose at this point. So now it's just a matter of actually like pulling the bumper cover off very carefully. But I want to say my hood struts might be shot, because even with the car just jacked up on one side, the hood slam closed again. So that's not good, but one thing at a time. So let's try to slide the bumper cover off now. Well, I've got the bumper off-ish, so I've got it peeled down far enough out of the way that hopefully we should be able to get to the headlights at this point, but I don't know if it's just hung on the fact that like it's getting caught on the ground itself, so I can't like fully peel back the bumper, who knows. But yeah, I would recommend definitely a two-person job, because unfortunately like I was trying to do it by myself to begin with, and I ended up scratching a little bit of my quarter panel paint. So I hate that. Like, it's not deep, so hopefully it'll buff out. But again, a little chaos. That one hurts my soul. But it is what it is. So now that we've got access to the headlights, should just be pretty easy from this point. Like, I think there's 3 bolts holding the headlight in, and then we should be able to finagle it past the quarter panel. That's one headlight out, and now we can actually like put them side by side and compare, just to see like what differences there are and how gross these OEM ones look. Just for years of baking in the sun and aging, they didn't age well. Out with the old, in with the new. So let's go ahead and throw the EOS black housing headlights in here and see how they look. We got like a little sneak peek up here right now since we don't have the bumper on, but I'm really gonna love like the black housing against the blue paint. I think it's just really gonna give it like that subtle, like I said, OEM plus touch that I love. So one side down, let's get the other headlight in and then we get the bumper back on and really see what it looks like. I've got both headlights in and made sure all the lights are working. So now it's just a matter of putting the bumper back on and then we can really see what a drastic difference this made. All the fasteners and everything for the front bumper are back in place, so let's get it off the ramps, back on the ground, wheels torqued down, and then take a look and see how the end result turned out. I've fallen in love with this car all over again. It looks factory fresh with these modern headlights, and they actually blend in really well with our previously installed smoked out ambers. So we have like this whole smoked out black sinister theme going on up front. I'll make sure to link Extreme Online Store down below because they do offer the OEM Plus style like I went with, and then they do have the C8 style as well for your C6. So you have to let me know which version you would choose down in the comments below. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that subscribe button because here at the Chaos Car Club, we're exclusively unexclusive. We love everything from JDM, American Muscle, trucks, motorcycles, you name it, it's got a motor, it's right up our alley. Thanks again for watching. We'll catch y'all in the next one.